Alright, let's get started. So, first step, tear it all apart. I labeled every single thing, took so many pictures, so that's probably why this car is back together today. So yeah, just take your time, label everything, make sure you have everything properly stored, and yeah. Took me about 2 to 3 days to strip this whole car down, engine bay, like interior and everything. And then I started with removing the sound deadening. Honestly, it wasn't that hard to remove the sound deadening. I just literally used a flathead and hammer. It all chipped away really easily, so I guess I got lucky. Now, let's get to the worst part of this restoration, was stripping it all down to bare metal. This took me about almost, I would say, a month and a half. This involves stripping pads, using chemicals to remove the paint. It was terrible, man. I honestly hated myself doing this, but hey, I discovered some rust, and any little pitting or whatever that I left behind that I couldn't fully remove, I just put Por-15 over it. But later in the video you'll notice that I actually went back in those areas and sandblasted it. So I would like to say this chassis is 99% rust free. It's not 100%, and honestly, I want to enjoy this car before I die, right? I'm not gonna spend my whole what the fuck? When did it get all depressing? One second. What I meant to say is that I want to enjoy this car. I'm not gonna go nitpicking every single thing. I want to enjoy this car as soon as possible. This restoration took already 3-4 years. I'm not gonna be that anal. I want to enjoy this car and enjoy life, I guess. I don't want to. Yeah, I think you guys get the point. But yeah, next step, we're encapsulating the rust. So every little surface rust areas that I couldn't completely clean with the stripping pads, I just Por-15'd it and called it a day. And then we started to move on to the epoxy stage. So here, there's two colors you'll see. You'll see the yellow, well actually three. This yellow, white, and gray. Gray is when I ran out completely, and then the yellow is when I basically made edits, and the white is the first time I sprayed this epoxy because I'm between two different cities, right? So just to make sure no surface rust happens when I was away from this car, I sprayed this quickly with a white epoxy. And then any area I wasn't really too happy with, I'd strip it back down and then spray with a yellow epoxy just to basically show myself that, yo, this is addressed, don't touch it, move on to the next step. Yeah, that's basically what I had to deal with while I was building this car, because I'm between two different cities, right? So usually the car's sitting 2-3 weeks in the garage, so don't want to risk any surface rust coming on. And here I started stripping everything down to bare metal in the body. You see light pitting here and there, and little holes, and then obviously a bigger hole there, but nothing too crazy. And before we get to step 5, this is my first attempt welding ever, okay? Before this, I did hire someone to weld for me, and he fucked it up and did such a shit job. You'll see later on in the video. That's why I started welding on my own. And just keep in mind, this is the worst welds you'll ever see. It's just, I guess we all have to learn something. Look at that. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. But yeah, it's just experience, right? You live and learn, This is not a perfect restoration, This is just my journey, my resto, And yeah. So after I finished butchering the metal, I obviously sprayed epoxy primer. So look how nice it looks. Wow, very nice. Obviously, don't follow my steps for welding because I don't know what the fuck I was doing here. But for me, I didn't really care about that area because it's getting covered up by a side skirt. That's why I didn't really care too much. But here in the engine bay, I started plugging up the holes, and honestly, my welds started getting a little bit better. I guess with more time, they start getting a little bit nicer. I swear the side skirt area probably has no penetration, but it is what it is. So before this whole restoration, I was doing it on my back. So when I got this rotisserie, oh my god, my life has never felt so I started enjoying doing the underbody with this rotisserie. Because when I was on the floor, oh my god, I would have back pain, knees, my whole body would basically be hurting. So if you're doing this, get a rotisserie. I swear to god, it's worth the investment, okay? Just get it. And look how nice and clean the underbody looks. wow, very nice. So now we're going back to the engine bay. So basically in this area, all I was doing is just the bodywork, just smoothing out everything. Even though later on in the clips, you'll see that I basically tubbed the front, but it is what it is. But yeah, smoothed out the body filler, made sure everything looks smooth. And even in the interior, I resprayed epoxy because like I said, I was in a rush the first time I sprayed epoxy. So that's why you see me spraying epoxy twice, because I want to make sure that the adhesion and everything is just perfect. I don't want to do this. I never want to do this again. Now you're about to witness what I hired someone to fix for me. So this rust area here was fucked, okay? So I hired someone to fix it for me. Full, like, you know, red seal, whatever they call it here in Canada. He's a full technician. This is his trade. Look at this shit, man. And I paid him like his hourly rate. I didn't fucking lowball him or anything. And look at this shit. This is why I was like, fuck it, I'll just do it myself. And that's why you see shitty ass welds, but at least I know that there's no rust behind those welds, man. Because that shit the guy did probably would have rusted within 2 months. Like, I don't get it. Like, look how ugly that looks. Look how bad it looks. I know it's bad, guys, but this is my first time, okay? And here's this SPI epoxy stuff that I've been using more recently. This stuff is actually amazing. And then now I'm doing the bodywork. So the bodywork, before I spray the high build primer, I block down everything as much as I can using the old paint as like basically a filler type of thing. If you guys do bodywork, you probably understand what I'm trying to do. And then any low areas or whatever, I use body filler. And then yeah, that's about it. I stripped everything as much as I can to metal. The quarter panels, I did not strip down to metal because I know they have like a shit ton of Bondo on them. So that's why I left the quarter panels painted, basically. And then yeah, I sprayed, actually I didn't use high build primer, looks like. Yeah, it looks like I just sprayed the epoxy primer. So this is the SPI epoxy primer that I really love. I highly recommend it. It is expensive, but honestly, this shit's great. I highly recommend it. So yeah, I sprayed this stuff everywhere. So I basically sealed up this whole car with this SPI epoxy. And yeah, that's about it. So once SPI epoxy cured, I started doing body work on top of it. Obviously I scuffed up the surface, but then I used the SPI epoxy basically as like a foundation for my body filler work. And as you can see, initially I didn't do too much body filler. Like, this car didn't need too much. And as you can see, like just here and there it needs some work. And then obviously I sprayed another 3 coats of high build primer on the whole entire car. And that was supposed to be it. Like, the whole car was supposed to be painted together, but I only managed to paint the underbody, the engine bay, and interior because, you know, poor planning by my end. And I didn't talk much about seam sealer is because I went to this auto body supply store that I requested 3M 2-part seam sealer. And this is over the weekend, right? And I'm painting this car over the weekend, so they're closed. So when I picked up the seam sealer from them and started applying it the night before I brought this to the paint booth, the idiots gave me self-leveling fucking seam sealer. And you can't use it on the undercarriage. It just starts dripping everywhere. So that's why you guys don't see any videos of that about that. Because that night I was literally stressing the fuck out because I was like, how the I don't know. It was a terrible night. It was honestly a terrible night. But I managed, and I got this other 1-part seam sealer that I'll probably link in the description. That's great, and I used that on the whole car. And those same idiots, for this Raptor liner, I requested black Raptor liner because why would I want any other color unless you're doing white, whatever. These idiots gave me a colorless Raptor liner, like that's supposed to be tintable, so you tint it any color. And I was like, yo, if you're in the Calgary area, avoid Global Auto Body Supplies. Those guys gave me so much headaches. Like, I swear they're run by idiots. So, since I had another extra year to work on the car because, you know, my plans changed, I widebodied the car with I don't know if I pronounced this right, but I think it's Ishikawa body kit. But it's a great body kit, and as you can see, look how much fillers on that quarter panel. Disgusting. But yeah, I welded up the quarter panels and basically welded up the little slits so no water would go through, and started mocking up this kit. And honestly, this kit in person looks so nice. I'm not a fan of Widebody kits, but this kit, it just flows nice with the body. It just looks right. I don't know how to explain it to you guys. And then here I basically Raptor lined the little area I cut out for the Widebody kit. And yeah, then I started applying it. I used this is all panel bonded together. There's no riv nuts or whatever they're called. And yeah, this is me just smoothing it out, cleaning up the edges before I start laying my first foundation of fiberglass. And look at all that dust, man. This shit will literally fuck your lungs, so wear protection. And then basically I just used a lot of fiberglass and a lot of filler to basically make sure that this kit, or this flare technically, blends in nicely with the OEM quarter panels, because I don't want to, you know, show that like it's a kit. Like obviously everyone's going to know it's a Widebody kit, but I want to make sure it looks clean. So that's why I'm putting a lot of foundational filler on the edges so that transitions nice. And then I literally ice the whole thing in body filler and start blocking the whole entire panel. And honestly, the quarter panels and the fenders look amazing, but the doors, they're a bit wavy. I don't know how I fucked it up. I think it's the block, because the Durablocks are kind of like flexible a little bit. So I'm guessing that's why. And here I'm adjusting the gas door to fit the flare of this kit. So I had to adjust the latch, and I had to adjust where the lock sits on the gas door, and basically use some filler on the on top of it as well to blend it out, and it looks great. Here I'm basically putting the body lines back in because I honestly love the 240SX's body lines. I think they suit the car perfectly, and just look how clean the lines are. It's great. This is just me opening up the door, just test fitting the new side skirts I basically made. These side skirts look like your regular Chuki side skirts, but they're not. They're cut up into 3 different pieces because I had to flare each end out to fit the flare of this kit. And because of the wheel choices I made, I needed to tub the engine bay. And honestly, these tubs are amazing. I'll link the guy in the description who made these. Great tubs, honestly. And we finally made it to the paint stage, finally. So the color I went with is a Porsche color, Porsche, or whatever you want to pronounce it. I'll put a link in the description. It's a really great color. Honestly, looks amazing. It's like a dark purple, but under the light, it has like this pink shine to it. You'll see in the clip on the left. Honestly, I love this color so much. Can't wait to actually polish this out for you guys, so you guys can actually see how nice it is. But yeah, that's about it. I'm not going to do too much more commentary. The rest of the clips are pretty self-explanatory. Just before I go, just want to let you guys all know, thank you for support. I know we're a small channel, but honestly, I didn't expect much from this. I just always had a little regret in me when I first refreshed this car of not recording anything or posting anything. So that's why I made this channel. And honestly, as long as this channel motivates you to work on your car or get out there in the garage and finish your project, that's all I really aim for. Because to be honest, we all fucking have those days where we don't want to do anything and just sit there. Like some days I literally go in the garage and just sit on the floor and not do anything, because you know, it's tough. This restoration, I'm not gonna lie, I would never do it again. Maybe for one special car in the future, but I think this car is my special car. Like I have no plans on selling this thing ever. But yeah, just this takes a lot of effort. So if you haven't started your restoration yet, just plan for the car to be down for at least 2 years minimum. It takes a lot of time. Even though like I did all this work myself besides the engine, it took a lot of time and a lot of money. Like doing this all myself, excluding the engine work, but including everything else like suspension, paint and everything, it cost me about $40,000 Canadian. So this isn't cheap. Just because you're doing it yourself does not mean it's cheap. Just $3,000 of that $40,000 was just paint, booth, and towing. So it gets expensive. So I wish you guys luck, and yeah, enjoy the rest of the clips, and yeah, thank you guys. So as you see here, there's a bit of a gap between the actual lip and the Type X bumper. So I put this bolt through the lip, which I later covered with filler just to hide it. And basically, I attach a nut on the other side of that inside the bumper that would bring the gap closer. That's basically what I was doing there.
This shit's heavy. Perfect. Transition side. Where is this? Transition side. Perfect. Okay, this has to be it.
And here I decided to go with Swiss springs. I did 6K in the front, 5Ks in the rear. And the reason why I went for the lower spring rate is because the roads here are terrible. With these BC coilovers, when I first got them, I could literally feel every faint crack on the road. So I'm hoping this would make the ride quality a little bit better. I'll let you guys know down the road. And if you guys have noticed, I'm not running a brake booster, so that's why I'm running more aggressive pads in the rear and the front. Let's see if I regret this decision of deleting my brake booster. And the reason you see me removing the spring like this is because my top nut on that coilover was completely seized. So this is like a different method you could use to basically remove that spring. In my case, the top nut was seized and the bottom mounting collar was seized as well, so love my life.
You are my destiny. When you hold my hand, I understand the magic that you do. You're my dream come true, my one and only you. Only you can make this change in me. For it's true, you are my destiny.
Meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue skies drive the dark clouds far.
Hey, so you made it to the end basically. I really do appreciate that. I'm not revealing the car yet. This is just what the most you guys are gonna get is just the car finally assembled. But you're not gonna hear the car or anything till I get it back from the shop. And I'm gonna do I'm gonna do a specific video for it when I do reveal it. So stay tuned for that. It might be 2 to 3 months from now. But yeah, reason why I made this video, honestly, the first 10-12 videos I made on this channel were really hard for me to rewatch. So they probably were really shit. So I was like, you know what? Let's make a video concluding this whole restoration into one big video. And honestly, I might remove those previous videos because they're kind of cringe to look over. But yeah, I appreciate you staying throughout the whole video, and yeah, you have a good one.